Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to the content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles did not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright.
Did you know some of the first albums?
Cuando las serpientes evolucionaron, rápido que muchos venenos. Noten la diferencia entre una serpiente venenosa y otra que no lo es por las marcas que deja.
1970, 1970, 1970, 1970. Nací un día de junio del año 77, planeta Mercurio y el año de la serpiente. Signo patente tatuado y en mi frente que en el vientre de mi madre marcaba el paso siguiente. Nacer, llorar sin anestesia en la camilla. Mi padre solo dijo es Ana María. Sí sería el primer llanto que me probaría, que mandó las heridas y dándome la batería. Solía ser entonces como un libro abierto, pero leí la letra pequeña del texto, como un arquitecto construyendo cada efecto. Correcto, incorrecto, se aprende todo al respecto. Saber que algunas personas quieren el daño, subir peldaño toma tiempo, toma año. Con mi peluche mirando lo cotidiano, dibujos transformaban el invierno en gran verano. Papá me regaló bajo mi insistencia un juego que trataba de compartir la solvencia, pero en el patio hicieron la competencia. Fue cuando sentí mi primera impotencia. 1970 y 1970 y 1970 1977. No me diga no, que no lo presiento. Todo lo que cambia lo hará diferente en el año que nació la serpiente. 1977. No me diga no, que no lo presiento. Todo lo que cambia lo hará diferente en el año que nació la serpiente. Mi adolescencia fue una etapa bizarra. El cuerpo es batería y la cabeza guitarra. La orquesta narra una tonada quebrada para la mirada de una niña que solo talla espada. Hormona disparada, sobrepobladas de información que cambian temporadas. Caminas encrucijada, cada cual en su morada preparaba la carnada. La sagrada diablada de mirada encabronada. Mi fila la verdad nunca buscó su silla. Mi búsqueda fue mero proceso de pura pila. Pupila de poeta que marcó nuestra saliva. En la cordillera que miraba la salida. La parada militar de paso monótono. Colores policromos, los uniformes de poco tono. De tono mi cuestionamiento, la voz y sonó, no. Mi primera rima que sonó y me enroló. Mi búsqueda no fue para mi cosa de escenario, fue algo necesario y que marcaba ya mi fallo. Así que tú hablas más de lo necesario. Fue cuando entendí que todos quieren ser corsario. 1970 y 1970 y 1970 1977. No me diga no, que no lo presiento. Todo lo que cambia lo hará diferente en el año que nació la serpiente. 1977. No me diga no, que no lo presiento. Todo lo que cambia lo hará diferente en el año que nació la serpiente.
autor viene a decirnos con mucha firmeza y gran convencimiento lo mismo que nos decía en el siglo XVIII el barón de Holbach, ¿no? Un filósofo francés de origen alemán. Si nos remontamos al comienzo, entonces hallaremos que la ignorancia y el temor crearon a los dioses. La fantasía, el entusiasmo o el engaño los adornaron o desfiguraron. La debilidad les rinde culto, la credulidad los conserva, la costumbre los respeta y la tiranía los apoya para que la ceguera de los hombres sirva a sus propios intereses.
Yo. What up, fam? What up? Yo. What up, fam? What up? Man, I hope you guys heard the, I think you should have. Hope you all will. Yo, what up, bro? Yeah, I'll check it out after. It's deep, bro. I'm seeing how deep this rabbit hole is. I'm saying, I'm seriously, it's fucking crazy, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts how crazy this rabbit hole keeps getting. You know what I'm saying? I hope you guys are doing well. Title of the class. Well, there's a couple, but Atlantis really? We're gonna go through some situations here. And I think we need to talk about this shit because, you know, quite frankly, I mean, like, bro, for real, let's put it this way. Y'all need to start doing some fucking homework on your shit. You need to start doing some homework on the shit that you guys believe in. Okay? And then this is not even talking about the topic I've been at hand lately. I'm talking about Atlanta is bullshit. Atlantis novel crap, bro. Like we're gonna see if we can get some sense across today and see if people in the back can fucking hear what I'm trying to say. Because you want to know something? It's so funny, and I think a lot of us missed it. Okay? And what did we miss? We missed the most obvious in our face, like what's really in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it this way. The material that these people illegally continue to use, right? The material that these people continue to use, it's like we ignored it almost at the same time because in the material that they continue to use to claim that they were here, they're admitting that they're Canaanites. Yeah, we're gonna look into that. First, I gotta share this real quick because I think this is fucking hilarious. Watch this, family. Okay, this is a little side topic. We're gonna come right back to it. I just want to prove a point. It's amazing, man. It's amazing how propaganda can go so fucking far. You know, with the politics currently going on, right? They always claim raza, so-called illegals, are the ones taking advantage of the benefits. They're the ones that are living for free. You know, even though they can do more things, they're just living for free. But we're gonna find out today what some people, how they were living technically for free, bro. And now they're complaining.
has cut my food stamps from $2,800 down to $350. Now, what am I supposed to do? So I literally just got this piece of mail today saying that due to new policy changes from the Trump administration, all this shit, whatever, that all these cuts and whatever he's doing over there, now they're telling me I have to go work. Now I have to go do all this. Well, I literally got 5 kids. Okay, I'm trying to sit here and spend time with them. I'm not trying to go work, 50, 60 hours a week so I can pay bills. I just really don't understand. I voted for him this last election because I thought what he had good was going on, but now all of a sudden, all this policy stuff's coming out, and now he's making all these cuts, and now he doesn't want to help the less fortunate people no more. I'm done with that guy. I'm not. If he gets voted in again, I'm leaving this country because I'm not dealing with this no more. This is all shit.
Where the fuck is he gonna go? And then, to top it all off, 2,800, bro, for real. And then you're like, well, I mean, you're talking about me having to go to work. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Oh, it's because it takes time away from family. That's what a lot of people have gone through, bro. What the hell? For real?
Illegal immigrants are in this country illegally.
Here, I want to share the complete opposite of that particular thing here. Let's go.
No, they're not. And they're not illegal. They're undocumented. This is stolen land. Undocumented immigrants are in this country because the system has taken so long to actually allow them to become citizens that they've had to stay past their visas, or perhaps maybe just don't have their paperwork completed yet. But by calling them illegal immigrants, you're criminalizing them and making them seem like as if they're some kind of hardened criminal, when the reality of it is that undocumented immigrants are actually here working hard, and less than 25% of the undocumented immigrants that are actually in all of these ICE detention centers have any criminal record at all. And that criminal record could be nothing as much as a parking ticket. But yet by calling them illegal, you're criminalizing them and you're making them seem like as if they deserve to be in cages. But if you actually saw undocumented immigrants as people, as mothers, as fathers, as children's people here just trying to do their best, you'd actually have a hard time actually locking them up. The truth is that undocumented immigrants are here working hard, contributing to not only our federal taxes, but also our social and economical benefits. Undocumented immigrants actually pay into the federal tax over $170 billion a year. They actually pay into state and local taxes by buying goods and services and foods, but yet you want to criminalize and put them in cages. Why? Because somehow someone has convinced you that undocumented immigrants have stolen your jobs, when the truth is they're just doing the jobs you don't want to do. And if you see this and you're as outraged as I am, you need to repost this and share this. We need to educate people, because we need to stop calling people illegal immigrants on stolen land for another else, and call them what they are, which is undocumented immigrants trying to become citizens.
That's very important. That's very important. To be honest with you, that is so important, because remember, keep in mind, he says stolen land, right? And it actually goes in hand with the topic. I want to share this with you guys because, I experienced it myself. I think a lot of you also have. I believe Christianity, whichever one you want to choose, BHIism, all of that shit, Mormonism, you know what I mean? Like all of that stuff. All of those are cults, fam. Here's why I know that they're cults, okay? Perfect point. I got this from another video, man. I'm so thankful I took snapshots. It says, your basic mystery cult. Now, this also applies to those Atlanta is Atlantis stupid ass motherfuckers. It also applies to them because they become part of something. Watch this. Individuals initiated into the mysteries, it says, right? Mysteries. Now, that's not just in the cult level. That's in the Bible, in the New Testament. And you're only going to find that word mysteries in the New Testament. Just to prove a point. Mysteries. Here, let me get the search. Sorry. New Testament and Apocrypha. Mysteries. That's the only times you find that word in the Bible, in the New Testament. But let's continue. All right, it says into the mysteries, both ritually and by teaching them sworn secrets about the universe. So, for example, when I went into this BHI camp stuff, right? You know, at first you learn the basics, milk, but then they start revealing certain things. Now, you may not be revealed those things, but you may overhear something, and then eventually it clicks. For example, when I started understanding, without them revealing it to me directly, but in random situations, I would catch verses that would explain how and when, or what would happen when their Messiah, the black one, will return, right? So, for example, I'm giving you one example here of BHIism. You see, BHIs, they go and reveal Revelations 1:14, right? To the basics, to the people in the street. Hey, this is what Jesus looks like, yada yada yada, right? But then once you're in, then they actually start explaining the resurrections. Now, they may not tell you if you're new. More likely not. You have to be like an officer or some shit. But if you pay attention, you realize what they're saying. So in 1 Corinthians 15:50, it talks about how, now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither do corruption inherit incorruption. So if you continue to read, verse 53 says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption. So for you so-called Hispanics, you are corruptible. You look corruptible because you don't look so-called African American. This is why they say these things in secret, right? And then how do you confirm that? I think they go to Ephesians 4. It's been a while, fam. It's been a while since I've been going back to this. I think in a moment of an instant, something to that effect. But the whole point is, without going long-winded on this, that's individual initiated into the mysteries of what they understand. Like, now you know a secret. You know what I mean? You know a secret. Oh, the milk, it's secret, bro. You can't just give it to random people. Like, for real. Then it says, gain salvation in the afterlife. Right? Like, that's what, that's the hook, yo. Through baptism and communion. Now, communion, I'm going to tell you this, in every single camp, at least when I came from, they would break, quote, quote, bread every Saturday. Because that's what they were, Friday, Saturday. So every Saturday, you would break bread and drink wine or juice if you wanted. Baptism is when they change your name. Becoming a universal brotherhood. Yo, brother. What up, Brock? What up, Ak? What up, Ak? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Ak. When you go into, let's say, IUIC, before you wear a purple short, you're just a brother. You're not a soldier. You're not an officer. You're not nothing. You're just a brother. So there's brothers which wear, black shirts, and everybody else purple, as far as I can remember. So that's the concept here. And in every religion, in every cult, it has the same way. Personal religion, personal relationship. It's voluntary. You know what I mean? Like, it was your calling. A mystical divine union. The mystical union with the divine. Like, oh man, it's the spirit. The people, like, these religions catch you with that. Because all of those things are experiences. Because you want to know what's going on. Then it says vow secrecy. Like, for example, when I was at these camps, right? They made you sign some paperwork and shit. Like, you can't share this stuff with nobody. Or like they would say, hey, you can't share this with any random person. Vow of secrecy. You can't share what goes on in here. Group identity. Now, that's very clear, bro. Some people wear purple, some people wear black. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they're all having a group identity. Every single religion or cult has the same concept. See, theme of seasonal cycles of growth. Hey, you found out you're an Israelite. Death, that old person ain't with you no more. Now you're going to have a new name. Rebirth, see, now you're an Israelite. Why? Because if you keep the commandments, I promise you salvation forever, bro. And then it says lack of doctrine when you start really dissecting the doctrine that they've been supposedly teaching. Those are facts, man. Those are not like, random situations. Those are actual facts. Let's start with this video, bro. Thanks, sir.
According to various cultures, thousands of years ago, 3 continents were said to exist: Mu in the Pacific Ocean, Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean, and Lemuria in the Indian Ocean. These continents are believed to have been inhabited by ancient and advanced civilizations that, after suffering a cataclysm, disappeared beneath the waves. According to various cultures.
So, as you can see, it's there's other angles to that story about Atlantis and shit. You know what I'm saying? Atlanteans, that's another topic. But that's for another day. So now let me show you this real quick. I hope they don't block it. I like this guy's channel. He's informative, especially when it comes to like politics, right? And regarding military strikes and all this stuff. So here he goes, the lost city of Atlantis. I'm gonna speed it up. Hopefully they don't block me, man. I want to share this with you guys because you'll get a visual. We're gonna read some things too. You know what I'm saying? Here, I'll do 20. All right. So let's check this out, fam. Let's check. 2 minutes. Oh no, you good, bro? Good to have you, man. Chill out, dog. There you go. What a kuya. Maybe I'll create some buttons for you guys' names and shit. You know what I mean? I think I may do that, bro. I'm gonna work on that. All right, so the video, if you guys want to watch it later, it's called Lost City of Atlantis Explained. Here we're gonna pinpoint certain things, and I'm gonna interject, right? I'm gonna bring you guys some links, show you guys exactly what some of these so-called depictions are actually seen like on words, like an actual page, you know what I mean? So we can read it. Because we need to know this shit. For me, honestly, it just baffles me that people can really try to claim that this is Atlantis, bro. The greatest city on earth ever. And it's the same people at the same time that claim to be Israelites. And they claim that they were originally here. And this is why you so-called 12 tribe chart keepers, when you believe in the 12 tribe chart, right, especially you so-called indigenous, right, you're all up involved in this shit, you forget that they say that you or your family was once black. So then they subscribe to the whole concept of the Waboism, the Aboriginals, wannabes and shit. You know what I'm saying? They subscribe to that, which is why they never argue against that, in case you've never noticed. Let's begin.
Is a map that shows the mythical land of Atlantis.
Whether Atlanteans or giants.
And it matches all the characteristics of Atlantis.
Atlantis is way. I can't believe it.
And this map asserts that it's maybe not so mythical. It shows exactly where it is. I mean, everything else about this map, if you just look at like the lines.
So as you can see, Atlantis, supposedly it's there. Okay. Supposedly. Now, maybe he'll explain what it actually means. Me particularly, he's going to say he likes maps. I like maps too. Like, I'm going to look for this map. But anyhow, based on what he's talking about, Atlantis is here, so to speak. But then again, that's why they call this the Atlantic Ocean, right? I mean, hello.
Of the current day world is accurate. It's a well-made map. It was made at the end of the 1800s, and yet it shows Atlantis and a bunch of other crazy stuff, saying that it existed about 1 million years ago.
That right there is where you start having to want, like, 1 million fucking years ago, bro? Like, what the fuck? What are we doing here? You know what I mean? I'm sorry. 1 million years ago? How the hell do you even know that it's how can you even track 1 million fucking years? Seriously, bro?
I bought the originals, and if I look giddy, it's because I am. I love old original maps. And it's not just one map, it's 4 of them. These maps claim to explain some of the greatest mysteries of human civilization. How ancient civilizations, despite not being able to communicate with each other, invented similar-looking structures an ocean away. It's a story about the birth of civilization, the spread of technology. I want to tell you the story of these maps that assert that Atlantis is real and that we can learn something from it. I also think we can learn something from these maps. These are effectively treasure maps, purporting to show you the location of Atlantis. They're part of this book that argues that Atlantis is real. A detailed
See the book, the name of the book.
history
Remember, keep in mind that you also have to really pay attention. And I say, you see,
of Atlantis.
Atlantis is real. You got to remember what the fuck they're saying within these particular this analysis.
They're part of this
They're part of this book
that argues that,
Look,
that Atlantis is real.
hold on, sorry, I'm trying
A
to.
detailed
Here you go, it's right there. Trying to get the name, bro. There you go. The story of Atlantis. Let me see if I can see the story. We're not gonna go through it. Of Atlantis and the lost Lemuria. Oh, it looks like I might have looked for it at one point. PDF. All right, so here we see kind of like the maps that he's talking about. Okay, you see that concept. The story of Atlantis, Lemuria. There's probably a better way to actually find this information, right? I'm just kind of going on the fly right now. Let me go back. But, you know, it is here technically in archives.org. It's not. Oh, it's right here. All right. So if we kind of work with it like this, maybe we'll get to see some maps. If we don't see no maps, it's fine. I'll look into this book later. It's not that long. It's only 129 pages. So, you know, I can get through that shit quick. Story of Atlantis, Lost Lemuna by Eliot. Is that his name? Scott Eliot. Okay. All right. So you guys see that it is technically a book out there. Let's see what it says.
A detailed history and explanation. So let me tell you the story of these maps, which is the story of Atlantis. So it all starts with Plato.
We've been going back into religions, right? Cults, Mithras, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff related to so-called Christianity. And you've heard me reference Plato. Diodorus Siculus is also going to be mentioned. We're going to see something right now, okay? Let me just let him talk, and then I'm going to show you something.
Plato was one guy living in Athens 2,400 years ago. He had some really good ideas about justice, education, government, science, and a bunch of other things that influenced how our Western society developed. Pretty influential, incredible guy. And here he is in one of his texts describing a land called Atlantis. He said it was a utopia that was located, quote, past the Pillars of Hercules.
He said it was a utopia past the Pillars of Hercules. Okay?
So somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. According to Plato, the city was built as a series of circles with a complex system of canals and walls made out of exotic metals. It was full of advanced technology and engineering. There was a massive palace. The city was decorated with golden statues. Plato says that Atlantis had an advanced military and navy which ruled over this huge island civilization. Okay, before we go on here, let me make one thing.
Keep in mind what it's actually saying. Hey, Jeremias, buenos días. Hold on. Oh, sorry, my bad. Oh, that's right. I changed that. Hey, that's funny. Good to have you here, bro. Jeremias, buenos días. Anyways, like, for real, think about this. There was gold, armies. You know what I'm saying? All these things, right? Like, that's what he's talking about. Correct? Right? Right? All right, so now, before he goes any further, I got to show this to you. Because Diodorus Siculus, you know, obviously uses a lot of Plato's information. Plato, not Play-Doh. Let me go back. Excuse me. This is regarding Diodorus Siculus. We're going to find out exactly. And he's going to say something very similar. And I've shared this with you guys before, but I think we have to just fucking remind people. Because it seems like they don't read, bro. This is Diodorus Siculus on 5.19.1. regarding their actual text history, ancient texts, okay? Let me go here. You guys can see what we're doing. It says, oh, my bad. Only, I gotta now go back up. It's all good. I got it. Rápido, way. Anyways, it says here, but now that we have discussed what relates to the islands which lie within the Pillars of Hercules, we shall give an account of those which are in the ocean. This is Diodorus Siculus, okay? For there lies out in the deep of Libya an island of considerable size, and situated as it is in the ocean, it is distant from Libya, a voyage of a number of days to the west. Now watch. Its land is fruitful, much of it being mountainous, and not a little being a level plain of surpassing beauty. Through it flows navigable rivers, which are used for irrigation. So you understand what was just said? Through it flow navigable rivers, which are used for irrigation. Who's using them? Let's continue. And the island contains many parks planted with trees. Who planted them? Of every variety, and gardens in great multitudes, which are traversed by streams of sweet water. How did that happen? On it also are private villas of costly construction. What? And throughout the gardens, banqueting houses have been constructed on a settling of flowers. Sounds like Tenochtitlan. And in them, the inhabitants pass their time during the summer, since the land supplies in abundance everything which contributes to enjoyment and luxury. Okay, you hear it? So there is a reference of a land. But you see, let me tell you something. Which these people do, or at least as far as I know, have an understanding of the Bible, because he mentions the Jews, right? Obviously heard and understood that there was this place called Ophir. And, that certain people had to go like 3 years sometimes to come back with gold and peacocks and all that shit, right? Okay. And that's way before this guy. That's like 700 BC, fam. If I'm not mistaken. Before the kingdom split. This is around Solomon's time, right? 700 BC, something around that time. Right? See, follow me here, because this is historical shit. So this guy's way after 60 BC. Plato is like, I think 300 BC, maybe late, maybe 380 something BC, maybe, give or take. Way after 700 BC, when Solomon was talking about Ophir. It's going to some land to give me some gold, right? Now, check this out. So we now know, and we see the referencing, and let's not be afraid of it, because here's where it gets very interesting. Okay? Here he even talks about the mountainous parts of the island is covered with dense thicket, great extent, with fruitful trees of every variety, and inviting men to life among the mountains. It's cozy glens and springs in great numbers. In a word, this island is well supplied with springs of sweet water, which not only make the use of it enjoyable for those who pass their life there. Excuse me?
Are you?
He's talking about present tense for those who pass their life there. Not past, but pass, like live. But also contribute to the wealth and vigor of their bodies. There is also excellent hunting of every manner of beast and wild, and the inhabitants, oh shit. So now this means that this so-called island is inhabitable. There's people there. There's people that have these like aqueducts, streams where people travel through, and somehow they managed to bring sweet water from other places to this place. And then there's construction, there's like, buildings and shit, and they got gardens and all kinds of stuff, bro. And by the way, it's floating on flowers. Being well supplied with this game at their feast, lack of nothing which pertains to the luxury and extravagance. For in fact, the sea, which washes the shores of the island, contains a multitude of fish. Since the character of the ocean is such that it abounds throughout, it extends with fish of every variety. He's talking about sweet water. Sandy white beaches, clear crystal waters. Now, but we're not going to end there. Let's continue. Here's where I want to prove a point, a heavy point. Let's not run from this. You got to face it. You got to face it. Check this out. And here's where we catch you, wobbling motherfuckers. Here's where you're going to look stupid now. Okay? I'm gonna show you how stupid you look. You claim not to be these people, but you use everything about them to claim that you're not those people. It's weird. So hear this out. In ancient times, this island remained undiscovered because of its distance from the entire inhabited world. But it was discovered at a later time period for the following reason. The Phoenicians, who from ancient times on made voyages continually for the purpose of trade, planted many colonies throughout Libya. And not a few, as well as the western parts of Europe. And since their ventures turned out according to their expectations, which, by the way, Phoenicia has a lot to do with the Punic Wars, with Rome and all that stuff, okay? They amassed great wealth and essayed to voyage beyond the Pillars of Hercules into the sea, which men call the ocean. And first of all, upon the straits itself by the pillars, they founded a city on the shores of Europe. Since the land formed a peninsula, they called it Gadaria. In the city, they built many works appropriate to the nature of the region. Among them, a costly temple of Hercules. So here we see that at 520. Here we see that they went to this place and they built something here. Let's see this. So the Phoenicians went to the coast of Cadiz, right? See that? South of Sevilla. All right, so now we understand. So this is what he's talking about. The Straits of Gibraltar. Give me a second. All right. Now, check this out. Look, it's also many Romans, distinguished men. See, so we see Phoenicians, Romans, so there's a name between, like they've dealt with each other. Now, here's where it gets interesting, okay? Here's where it gets interesting. Let's go to this part here. Hold on. Where did I go? Oh, I went too far. All right, so we started here. All right, so now we're going to read this right here. And here's where you confound yourself. The Phoenicians, 5.20.3. Hold on. Oh, shit, my mic is not working. The Phoenicians then, while exploring the coast outside of the pillars for the reasons we have stated, and while sailing along the shores of Libya, were driven by a strong wind a great distance into the ocean. After being storm-tossed many days, they were carried ashore on the island we mentioned above. Which one? This one, where there's inhabitants, mountainous ranges, sweet waters. Like, you know what I'm saying? People are actually enjoying their time there. That land. Okay? So unlike what they're saying in their fucking stupid ass talk with like whatever his name is, Hancock, like, oh, the Phoenicians found it over here and they were trading. No, shut the F up. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. So let's continue. Oh, my bad. Went too far. Don't get too excited, dear brother. Let's go. Then it says here, and after being storm-tossed for many days, they were carried ashore onto an island we mentioned above, and when they had observed its felicity in nature, they caused it to be known to all men. See? So Plato mentions it. He references Plato, and he's only going by what Plato had said. Consequently, the Tyrrhenians, at the time when they were masters of the sea, purposed to dispatch a colony to it. Now, keep in mind, though, that the 10 tribes of Israel, so-called 10 tribes of Israel, the 10 tribes were scattered abroad after 530 BC. After, or way before, Plato wrote this shit. Or even this guy wrote this shit, okay? 200 and change years after the split. Consequently, the Tyrrhenians, after the split of the northern and southern kingdom of the Israelites, consequently, the Tyrrhenians, at the time when they were masters of the sea, purposed to dispatch a colony to it. But the Carthaginians prevented their doing so, partly out of the concern lest many inhabitants of Carthage should remove there because of the excellence of the island. You see that? So they're not saying, oh yeah, let's go there because it's not inhabited. Now they knew it was inhabitable. They knew, that there was inhabitants there, but they could care less. However, and partly in order to have ready in it a place in which to seek refuge against an incalculable turn of fortune. So here we see, right, a referencing of like, yo, let's just, in case there's a disaster, let's just save it just to be safe. In case some total disaster to overtake Carthage. For it was their thought that since they were masters of the sea, they would thus be able to move, household and all, to an island which was unknown to their conquerors. You see this here. Now, who are the Phoenicians? Who are the Phoenicians? Let me see this. Oh, this is just a city, my bad. Who are the Phoenicians? All right, let me show you something. Here, let me start closing some things because it's starting to move slow on me. I'm going to close this up. We don't need this no more. Because now we know this was Diodorus Siculus, okay? Let me close this up. I need a new computer, family. Who were the Phoenicians? Who are they? The Bible records that the Phoenicians had a close relationship with the Israelites, supposedly. Supposedly, they say, right? However, here's the point. Who were the Phoenicians? Stern identifies the Phoenicians as Canaanites who survived into the first millennium. The Phoenicians were the late Canaanites of the first millennium. Now, keep in mind that we just read this. Keep that shit in mind. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this book. It's called The Jew, a Negro. The Jew, a Negro, okay? Okay. These people believe that they are also the original people here of this land. So listen to what they say on page 51. Okay? Did the Negroes know of America? Watch what he says. The Negro Jews. Diodorus Siculus tells us that the Phoenicians in early times sailed beyond Hercules pillars along the African coast, and their meeting with storms and tempests were carried to the remotest part of the ocean. And after many days came a vast island and a great distance from Libya, and lying very far west. The Phoenicians informed the Carthaginians of this place. The Carthaginians, prohibiting other nations from settling in it, they reserved it for themselves as a place for retirement, if they should ever be driven from their native soil. Did the Negroes know America? So here, this guy, so-called Jew, is admitting that he is a Canaanite. This is what you guys are admitting. You guys are admitting that you're fucking Canaanites, bro. Straight up. You can't use this material and then actually and claim that you're not those people when you're using those very same people to claim this fucking land. How can you be a Canaanite and a Jew at the same time? There's no fucking way, bro. Not, at least not what the Bible says. Unless we're like dealing with some other different shit. What are we doing here, bro? Diodorus Siculus. Let's continue real quick.
Let me make one thing crystal clear, which is that most historians agree that Plato wasn't describing a literal place. In his mind, Atlantis was a parable. It was a lesson that he was using to talk about utopian societies and the hubris of man and the downfall of humans.
Did you just hear that? Hey, yo.
Puto. Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
Do you hear what he said, bro? Do you hear what he said? Listen to what he said in case you might have missed it. For you in the back that claim to be natives of these lands, which are theoretical fucking Atlantis.
Civilization. Okay, before we go on here, let me make one thing crystal clear, which is that most historians agree that Plato wasn't describing a literal place. In his mind, Atlantis was a parable. It was a lesson that he was using to talk about utopian societies and the hubris of man and the downfall of humans and all of these things, and that it wasn't actually real. But the idea of this advanced civilization in the middle of the Atlantic did not go away. It stuck around for centuries, especially when Europeans...
What I'm saying is Diodorus Siculus references a land or island, so-called, right? They might have known of this place because I know that Ophir is what they misunderstood this to be, right? But these idiots took it to another fucking level and called it Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. It's like, what? For real, bro? I have a, check this out. We're going to go into some details over here real quick. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Check this out. Slavery in Spain began in 15th century, right? Blah, 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 blah. But check this out. Look what's interesting. Look what's interesting. The history of Phoenicians in Spain. Spanish slavery can be traced to the Phoenicians and Roman eras. In the 9th century, Muslim Moorish rulers and local Jewish merchants traded in Spanish and Eastern European Christian slaves.
Oh, that's gotta hurt!
Ooh-wee. You want to complain about slavery? Both of you. The Jews, so-called Jews of nowadays, they want to complain about them being fucking supposedly treated like shit. But here we see that you guys were like big proponents of slavery. Matter of fact, you financed slavery here since 1492. That's documented. It's not a lie. After the discovery of the New World, the Spanish colonists decided to use it for commercial production and mining because of the absence of trading networks. The Native American population was used for this labor, but they died in large numbers. So here we see, though, there's a trace of you. You want to claim to be them or not? So are we them yet? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, man. Because here we see that the Phoenicians were Hamitic. The Phoenicians were a Hamitic nation. And we know that based on Jubilees, the Hamitic nation was divided among his sons, and they were basically placed in Africa. Jubilees 9:1 says, and Ham divided among his sons. The first portion came forth for Cush towards the east. Cush, east Africa. To the west of him, meaning you go a little bit further up north, that's Egypt. Mizraim. You go to the left of him, to the west of him, Put. And to the west of him, meaning to the far west side of Africa, on the sea for Canaan. Then we see Shem dividing his portion. But then we also see because they say, oh, well, the Phoenicians had a great relationship with the Israelites, and some people say the Israelites were Canaanites. No, dumbasses, you guys don't know. You guys don't read, I guess. In the next following chapter, we see on verse 28 what actually occurred. We see here that in verse 28, Jubilees 10, and Ham and his sons went into the land which he was to occupy, which he acquired as his portion in the land of the south. You see, Jubilees is saying that once God broke off the lots, they're like, yo, you go here, you go here, you go here. Coming from where? Babylon. You have to understand that. Now, let's continue reading. However, one of his sons of Ham said, nah, fuck no. I don't want to be over there. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt, that it was very good. And he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea, meaning West Africa. So this Canaanite peoples were originally and have been, were originally supposed to be in West Africa. But after time goes on, they end up right where they're supposed to be, because that's just the way things are supposed to be. And Canaan saw the land of Lebanon to the river of Egypt, that it was very good. Here we see that he's like, nah, I'm not going to West Africa, bro. And he went not into the land of his inheritance to the west, that is to the sea, that is to the sea. And he dwelt in the land of Lebanon, eastward and westward from the borders of Jordan and from the borders of the sea. Ham, his father, and Cush and Mizraim, his brothers, said to him, you have settled in a land which is not yours and which did not fall to us by lot. Do not do so, for if you do so, you and your sons will fall in the land and be cursed through sedition. For by sedition you have settled, and by sedition will your children fall, and you shall be rooted out forever. Now, keep in mind that we read earlier that the Phoenicians were what? Canaanites. That's why when I clicked on Phoenicia, you could see that it's on the in the land of Israel or Jerusalem or whatever, right? But people confuse these guys. Like they're like, oh, they were Israelites. Israelites were Canaanites. No, fuck ass. Look what it's saying right here. See what I mean? Let's continue.
And started exploring the world. It's like the 1500s, Europeans are out discovering new lands, and a lot of these explorers were secretly hoping that they would stumble upon some advanced lost civilization, like Plato's Atlantis, where maybe they would find all these precious resources and advanced technology. But the idea of Atlantis didn't really take off in any sort of serious way until a couple centuries later, with the arrival of science.
See that? The years of enlightenment.
Science was not invented by Europeans in like the 1700s, but Europe was going through a scientific revolution where more and more people were tinkering.
That's what it means. The Renaissance, fam. For the sake of them not trying to get on my video feed, we're gonna move on to another video. Oh, it was already here. I think it only has to make sense. This is from, keep in mind, fam, the 7 myths of the Spanish conquest, page 52. It says, for the Spanish audience, this was the main event, but the native and the black participants, an audience must have seen the play that preceded the siege as equally significant. You see this right here? The native, the Spanish, and black. If they're already here, how the fuck would it be that they weren't black too? You know?
Who are you?
These opening spectacles feature the 3 artificial fours. Hold on, let me see. I got your text. Give me a second. Oh yeah, that map. Yeah. That's a older map. I forget. Yeah, this was the. Here, let me post it up here real quick. Pero Billy. All right. Let me just show it real quick. He's talking about this, fam. Asia, Europe, Africa. They were very aware of each other. So if people would have showed up over here, and you look just like those people, don't you think they would be like, yo, well, fuck? I mean, what the hell? No, man, come on, bro. And everybody that's falling for it, you must be stupid. The native actors reflect both the medieval European, the wild man tradition, and the Mesoamerican tradition that juxtapose the civilized Central Mexican Nahuatls with barbarous Mesoamericans. Then it says the presence and role of Africans was surely open to interpretation by the diverse population of early Mexico City. For Spaniards, Africans, and native roles underscore the conquest reduction of non-Spaniards to armed agents of colonialism or to mere player actors in military conflict. For natives, the black role was bittersweet, being both a reminder of African military roles in the Spanish invasion and a parody of that invasion through its representation as an entirely African monarchy included. For Africans, their entrance into the play on horseback must have been a proud celebration of their military prowess, of a conquistador status so seldom permitted public recognition. What are we talking about here? So are you saying that what do you mean? So this black conquistador enslaved his black-looking brethren? Really?
Bruh. Que alguien me explique. Who are you?
Make it make sense, bro. This slave monarch, along with other black leaders, had been publicly executed and was surely resurrected in the minds of the city's blacks in the form of festival's African king. Wow. You see this? You look African. I mean, what do you want us to believe, bro? Like, seriously, man. It's like if a white man comes to and tells you he's not white. I don't look white. I am not white. I'm not European. I'm something else. Like, what? Yeah, no, I'm not European, bro. I'm something else. It's the same fucking shit. Come on, broskies. Are you serious, bro? We really are gonna go there? Hold on, let me see if they still have this up. Nah, that's not it. They don't have it up no more. Let me see this here. Oh, that's right. The children of Anak. The children of Anak definitions. I remember looking into something like that. Let me show you this real quick, man. It's gonna.
Guys, so in the midst of all the crazy bullshit going on around the country, somehow we ended up with this movement. People in Atlanta have united and decided that Atlanta is the real Atlantis. It must be the whole Atlanta part of it all that's confusing them. How'd we get here? I don't know. Peak 2025 vibes.
Atlanta is Atlantis. 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 Atlanta is Atlantis.
Say it again, maybe it'll make it true, or not. Out of all the shit we could have done, this is what we chose. You know, humanity is capable of having nice things, and this is why we don't. On one hand, we have the alien asteroid mothership coming. On the other hand, we discovered that Atlanta is Atlantis. We are rapidly decreasing the mass IQ. We're supposed to explore the star systems, y'all. Just so far off. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
It's got a great point.
Did you know some of the first cowboys?
Lately, I have noticed the feed. People come not watching this as much, maybe because y'all fucking in love with your Jesus and shit, and you think I'm attacking you. Like, nah, bro. Then you might have ended up in the wrong channel, man. Because here we explore, and you have to examine yourself at the same time, always and forever, bro. But anyways, I don't know if it's the algorithm or you guys are just mad and shit, but it's all good, bro. It's all good. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep pumping these videos and maybe somebody eventually gets it. Maybe y'all eventually will get it.
Boys were actually black Indians.
Let me tell you something. Before, we had brothers that were doing, their work pushing the truth and debating certain people and claiming that they were these particular people, right? But nobody was showing the kind of love that I was showing, bro, since I started this channel. And that's why you have a lot of other videos and channels now, like really being proud of who they are. That shit wasn't happening 3 years ago, bro. Not 2 years ago. We didn't hear none of that. There was no motivation. There was no like positive influence, nothing like that. You had your Cholo channels and all that shit. But nobody was hyping our people up, bro. Now we're seeing more videos about that. And all thanks to the most high creator of our family, our heritage, right? But don't ever forget that shit. Let's go.
Mind-blowing, right? Let's talk about one of the most fascinating, yet often overlooked chapters of American history. When we think of Native Americans or African Americans, we often see them as separate groups. But their histories have been intertwined for centuries, creating a unique cultural identity. Black Indians or Afro-Indigenes. From the Seminole Nation in Florida, which offered a safe haven for freedom seekers, to the legendary Buffalo Soldiers of the West, many of whom had indigenous heritage, these communities have profoundly shaped America. They created incredible fusion cultures, blending traditions, music, and food. Think jazz music's call and response roots, or the soul food classic, cornbread. Both have deep ties to this shared heritage.
Cornbread? Cornbread? Nobody, no native indigenous tribe in the Americas eats fucking cornbread, bro. Fuck out of here with that shit, man. I can't believe that it's to this point. And a lot of people don't want to talk about this, bro. Yeah, I did. I lost. It's all good, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. I guess they really wanted a friend, bro. It's funny. Let's continue.
It's a story of resilience, alliance, and a powerful identity that challenges our simple categories. Want to uncover more hidden histories? Smash that subscribe button.
Uncover more hidden histories? Smash that like button. Give me some money, Ock. For real, bro. For real, bro. Shit. So now let me show you this real quick, man. This is why I'm just like, I laugh at you guys. Look, let's put it this way. If you guys were originally here, then you should know about what the Spaniards did to our people, bro. Or your people. The Spaniards came in with their Catholicism and completely infiltrated the people of this land with the Catholic mind. Now, excuse me, last time I fucking checked, you guys don't resemble none of that shit that the Spaniards implemented on the so-called natives. Get the hell out of here with your shit, bro. Straight up, man. Like you guys must have forgot. You guys must have forgot, you know what I mean, what my job was in the first place. It's to push back on these people, bro. Because nobody wanted to. Everybody was scared, man. Oh, they were just Canaanite. No, it wasn't just that, bro. It's everything included with all their fucking movement. You guys didn't want to listen. Like since 2022, I was saying, yo, they're going to merge this shit. These wobbles going to claim they're Israelites too. And blah, blah, blah. No, we are going to be black and brown, pride. Yeah, we're all one family. Shut up.
Few months, you'll see headlines, TikToks, or Joe Rogan raving that Atlantis has finally been found. The thing is, Atlantis was never real. So why is the idea of the lost continent so pervasive in pop culture today, and why does it matter? It's time for another installment of our super popular series within a series, The Why Files. I'm Dr. Ken, this is The Quick Dig, now let's dig in. The story of Atlantis was actually made up by the Greek philosopher Plato, around 360 BC as a thought experiment. He used the idea of an island empire that angered the gods and sank beneath the sea as a cautionary tale about arrogance and corruption. Folks alive at that time knew that Atlantis was never meant to be a real place. However, over the centuries, people began to treat the story as a mystery waiting to be solved. Modern ideas about the lost continent come from the writing of a Minnesota congressman in the 1880s who thought Atlantis was the original home of an Aryan race. So you can imagine what kind of agenda he may have been pushing.
What kind of agenda are we hearing now with these other people? They call it black dominance.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
What is the difference between these motherfucking guys? These guys call themselves white supremacy.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Ain't no different, bro. Just a different skin tone with a different hair texture, but the same fucking mindset.
Here's the problem. This obsession with Atlantis often undermines real history. When people look at the Maya pyramids or the stone cities of Great Zimbabwe or the earthen mounds of the Mississippian cultures in North America, they sometimes say, "This must have been Atlantis." But that's a load of Hancock and erases the truth. These were indigenous civilizations, building up over many generations through local genius, innovation, and centuries of cultural knowledge. We know these societies created advanced trade networks, astronomy, agriculture, and monumental architecture. They did not need help from a sunken continent, ancient aliens, or imaginary lost races. So the next time you hear about Atlantis, remember, it was always a myth. The real wonders of the past are right here on land, built by brilliant indigenous peoples. You know what I always say, ancient aliens, more like ancient sapiens. I'm Dr. Ken, and this.
Do you see what he just said? But we see a bunch of fucking bullshit, bro. Which one is it? Hold on a second. Let me see. Hold on a minute. This one right here.
Guys,
shit, like for real, bro. Like, hold on. I need to see this again. Because it's funny to me.
in the midst of all the crazy bullshit going on around the country, somehow we ended up with this movement. People in Atlanta have united and decided that Atlanta is the real Atlantis. It must be the whole Atlant part of it all that's confusing them. How'd we get here? I don't know. Peak 2025 vibes.
Atlanta is Atlantis. 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 Atlanta is Atlantis.
Grown ass fucking people in that damn thing, bro. You got grown ass men, grown ass women, like literally, they're singing and chanting some stupid damn shit that's not even real, bro. For real? I mean, is this what Canaan has succumbed to? Have you totally given up, Canaan? Is that totally why you are just kind of like throwing whatever sticks to the wall? You got grown ass people chanting this shit. You're teaching your children some fucking stupid hollow BS. If you were those people, how come you don't express or even relate to what the Spaniards did here initially? Do you want to know why? Because you were helping them. You were helping them. That's why you didn't succumb to the Christian compendium. That's why there is such a thing as black padres. You were not in that particular concept. Matter of fact, if that is the case, if it is the case that you guys were originally here, right? Because you'll use one page of one book and say, yo, look, but one page, one book is all you need? Really? It's like me assuming, hey, that kid's my kid because he looks just like me. Like, no, fuck no. You got to prove that shit. Where's your DNA? Those are sincere questions. That's not somebody trying to be an a-hole, trying to, nah, you why do you hate on it? Nah, bro, it's not that look, prove the cause. Prove all things. If you were originally here, then you should have been through the Christian compendium. Padre Nuestro, Credo. Like all of those things. El Padre Nuestro, Credo, Diez Mandamientos, Rosario, and then the Ave Maria. You should be fully aware of that if you were the original people here. Because guess what? I doubt that you were first given those things, and then all of a sudden, the white man brought us over here, and then we just so conveniently took the Christian compendium from off your mind, and we said, no, you know what? You guys don't have to do that no more. We're going to do that now because we're going to act like you now. We're going to be you practicing the Christian compendium that has destroyed our people since they got here. Yeah, hey, there you go. That's a good point. Blacks are mostly Protestants, or the Christian branches. Yeah, that's right. Mostly Protestants or evangelicals, pretty much, or Puritans, so to speak.
Say it again, maybe it'll make it true, or not. Out of all the shit we could have done, this is what we chose. You know, humanity is capable of having nice things, and this is why we don't. On one hand, we have the alien asteroid mothership coming. On the other hand, we discovered that Atlanta is Atlantis. We are rapidly decreasing the mass IQ. We're supposed to explore the star systems, y'all. Just so far off. I don't know how much more of this.
Well, I mean, it's in your face. Here's the
serious way.
Oh, my bad. So we just already went through that. Hold on. Oh, that's right. Maybe I needed to. Oh, that's right. My bad. I was supposed to share this part
until a couple
of other way. Okay, so now let's go back to the Atlantis is back concept. Okay, check this out. Let's continue.
So yeah, it's the 1800s, science is having a big moment, and Atlantis is trending once again.
There was no concept in the mid-1800s that civilization had been around for thousands and thousands of years. You know, most people were still kind of using the Bible as the main source of information about the human past, so people thought that the Earth was relatively young.
People were approaching the idea of Atlantis with a much more scientific lens. There was a bunch of scientific theories on offer at the time. For example, we were learning just how much the continents we stand on aren't fixed. They're actually all floating around, bumping into each other. And this helped explain why scientists were finding fossils that matched up with each other even though they were an ocean apart. They were seeing this same sort of thing with cultures as well. The Egyptians and the Mayans both had created pyramids, but there's no way they could talk to each other. Their arches, their writing systems, their agricultural practices, all very similar. How could you explain this? And this is where this idea caught hold. What if there was one civilization where all of this knowledge had stemmed from? One that was perhaps right in between the new and old world. What if it was Plato's Atlantis? People in Europe and America really started to think about Atlantis through the lens of science. They started producing books and lectures and studies and graphs and maps.
Where they're constantly putting Atlantis, so to speak, or this other land over here. Right, let's continue.
And this gets us to the maps that I've been obsessed about. The maps that I pulled the trigger on and just bought the originals because I couldn't help myself. Can we just get a short montage that shows how beautiful these maps are, please? Thank you. Okay, so here's where the story gets a little bit wild. I'm going to show you finally what these maps show. But this is also where things get a little bit dark. These maps were created by a Scottish banker turned amateur cartographer and anthropologist at the very end of the 1800s and into the early 1900s.
Makes a banker start becoming a drawer, an amateur at that. We talk about Freemasonry right now, brothers.
You have to understand something about that time. Yes, a scientific revolution was taking place. Yes, science was trending and we were revolutionizing everything about how we saw the world. And yet at the same time, there was another revolution, which was a spiritual revolution. People were throwing off the old ways of thinking about God, but were still in this kind of awkward middle ground where they wanted to embrace science, but they also had some like leftover thinking from like the religious days. Making claims about reality, but using kind of superficial empirical evidence, and then filling in the blanks, connecting the dots with more evidence that they had gathered by being in touch with spirits or psychic powers. These clairvoyant powers boost.
Here's where it gets interesting. That's why I wanted to show that at least that part. Watch this real quick. Let me give you guys this link. Why do you keep showing up over there, bro? Just show up over here. Shit. And so we got this link from the history.com. Atlantis. Atlantis, a likely mythical island nation mentioned in Plato's dialogue, Timaeus and Critias. And Critias has been an object of fascinating among Western philosophers and historians for nearly 2,400 years. Has anybody ever wondered where this guy got that fucking information from? I mean, seriously? What makes you guys think he's 100% correct? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. What makes you think he's 100% correct? And then we're talking about like 9,000 years. I mean, what are we dealing with? Oh, a million years ago? 9,000 years ago? 10,000 years ago? 11,000 years ago? What are we doing? Plato's Atlantis describes Atlantis as an island larger than Libya and Asia Minor put together. Libya and Asia Minor are very kind of small, fam. Located in the Atlantic beyond the Pillars of Hercules, generally assumed to mean the Straits of Gibraltar. It was protected, its culture was advanced, and it had a constitution suspiciously similar to the one outlined in Plato's Republic. It was protected by the god Poseidon, who made his son Atlas king and namesake of the island and ocean that surrounded it. What the hell? As the Atlanteans grew powerful, their ethics declined. The armies eventually conquered Africa as far as Egypt and Europe as far as Tyrrhenia before being driven back by an Athenian-led alliance. Later, by the way of divine punishment, the island was besieged by earthquakes and floods and sank into the muddy sea. Oh my God. You know, isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting that they fucking leave this shit out? Like, for real. That they totally left that out. At all. I mean, they never talked about it, do they? No, man, because it's convenience. It's like, it's my story. It's my thought. Oh my God, leave me alone. I want to be native. I want to be native. This is so stupid, bro. Straight
Guys,
up.
so in the midst of all the crazy bullshit going on around the country, somehow we ended up with this movement. People in Atlanta have united and decided that Atlanta is the real Atlanta.
Hey, you know what, Guaracuya, bro? That's a good point. Look, they didn't show up really before. And I don't think they're going to even show up now, because the stuff that I'm asking in regards to certain things that I'm questioning, I don't want to say we, but me for now, it's like they probably never even thought of that shit. So it's like, bro, this guy's on another level, man. Yeah, I don't want to mess with me, dude. You don't. Even look, with all due respect to the brethren that come and check out the channel and all that, if you ever want to debate me about me, like the New Testament, it's not going to work out. Because my approach, as you can see, is not the same as everybody else's approach. I'm not arguing about the same things that you guys argue about all the time. I'm giving you arguments that you probably are going to have a hard time answering. The Bible's not going to bring it up. The Bible, as a matter of fact, is going to confirm what I'm saying. Because my question is, why the fuck is that showing up in the New Testament when other religions have been practicing that shit for quite some time? How can we separate that? And how can you actually really teach people? Matter of fact, here's my question. And this is why when you say, or we argue of the fact that others believe all kinds of crazy shit, well, what are the roots? I mean, seriously, when you look at history, Jesus, Krishna, Jesus Cristo, what the fuck? That's Western Judaism with Eastern Hinduism, bro. Straight up. Let's continue. So my job is to make sure that I know where I'm going. I'm going to teach my kids as best as I can, and my mind's sane. Because I'm not doing this because, oh, man, the hell with whatever, everything, I'm just going to do what I do. Nah, bro. Like, I'm still very conscious of the fact that I still have to conduct myself a certain way. And I'm glad that I can say that even within my moments of questioning. No, they can never answer it, bro. You already asked them about their diet attached to the Americas. They can't answer it. When the hell did they eat crickets, man? I mean, grasshoppers. When? What about tejuino? What about tamales? What about tamarindo, bro? I mean, those are ancient foods and drinks and plants that every indigenous has had here. What about cilantro? That's a big deal. If that was the original, if you were the original people, that diet should never depart from you. So we stole the curse of the Christian religion and we stole your diet as well? Man.
Atlantis. It must be the whole Atlant part of it all that's confusing them. How'd we get here? I don't know. Peak 2025 vibes.
Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis.
The molcajete is even a bigger deal, man. Come on, dog. Because the molcajete is like the millstone. No, not that different. It's just like the millstone. How come you people have no concept of a molcajete or millstone? Why don't you still practice those things? Oh, cornbread. Cornbread, bro. The most simplest thing is tortillas. That is not in your diet.
Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis. Atlanta is Atlantis.
Say it again, maybe it'll make it true. Or not. Out of all the shit we could have done, this is what we chose. You know, humanity is capable of having nice things. And this is why we don't. On one hand, we have the alien asteroid mothership coming. On the other hand, we discovered that Atlanta is Atlantis. We are rapidly decreasing the mass IQ. We're supposed to explore the star systems, y'all. Just so far off. I don't know how much more of this I can take.
Straight up, my friends. Straight up, man. I mean, what the fuck, bro? Seriously? You guys listen to this culomiados too much. This is not your fault, culomiados. You really brain-fed your babies. This is your daddy right here. All you so-called African Americans that claim to be original people from here, right? That supposedly Atlanta is Atlantis. This is your daddy right here, Culomiados. You should subscribe to him. He tells you everything about you, even though he don't look nothing like you. And he even called you Canaanites too. Even look, like it goes right here, bro. How did the great Atlantis? Oh my God, for real, dog, for real, bro. That's what you run into. That's the sad part, my friends. Phoenicians are from the Americas, they say. I found this link. Let me see if I can show you guys. It's not loading up. Is this it?
Oh, there we go. We back in action. Hamitic, which were old Hamitic was real, you know.
Oh, this is a long one.
Stone.
Matter of fact, I'll follow up on that another time. I'll follow up on that another time. Hold on a second. Hold up. I think this is it right here. These don't tell me they closed it. Ah, they did, bastards. Ah, man. My bad, family. Hold on. Now they closed the link. I tried it again. Oh, no, hold on. Is this it? Oh, this is it. Check this out, fam. So about Phoenicians and Venetians and all that stuff, that's why the name is so similar. So sometimes I wonder, man, are you guys hiding within amongst yourselves?
What you do is you pretend to be people's friends. You find out what they want, what their weakness is, and you give it to them. If they want money, you give them money. If they want sex, you arrange for that. If they want drugs, you arrange for that. Whatever it is they want, their weakness is, you feed them. And then you tell them, okay, I'm doing all this for you and I just need these little favors. And you corrupt them.
That's like jail and shit. You know, like, hey, I'm hooking you fucking top ramen, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you owe me now. That's P. Diddy shit, right? Let's go.
And you corrupt them until you can control them. And of course, you know what they're doing, so you can always blackmail them if they try to get out of line. But basically what controls them is the knowledge that if they don't go along with you, then they lose out on all these things they like. You know, if they play ball with you, then they become rich, they become famous, they have all of their desires sated, they get everything that they want, but in a mental state which is increasingly depraved and subject to manipulation. And that's also the Venetian method, that you win by corruption. And that the thing that the empire fears most of all is an honest man who isn't corruptible because he doesn't want those things. You can see that you
hear that? That's the Phoenician method. And we see this in a very, really crazy way, man. My wife sent me this. It was nuts. And he talks about that. I feel bad for the kid, bro. Like, for real. Because it's like, it really makes you think about how crazy these people are, man. You fucking people are crazy, dude. You people are crazy and disgusting. Even God couldn't fix you. Shit, you're that fucking, diabolical.
I wonder if you've seen this clip before.
Diabolical. I like some the European people say that shit. Diabolical. Check this out. Listen to this. This is nuts, man. This is nuts. This is the initiation processing.
It is so strange.
Of the Phoenicians.
It's Bryce Cofford interviewing Lil Tony, who is an American rapper that claims to see some crazy stuff up on top of a mountain, and literally says that he thinks he saw the devil himself. I don't know why this young man would make this up. I'll let you hear it. It's only 2 minutes long. Hear what he had to say. Make up your own mind. But there are definitely some biblical connections to what he's saying. And again, why would he make this up? If you like this video, hit that like button. Help me to get this out to more people, and let's get in this together.
Wait, you had an encounter with the devil?
Yeah, I got booked for a photo shoot. They took me all the way up this mountain. I was on top of the mountain. We finished the photo shoot. They have OD cars. Like, they got 3-seater McLaren. They got a Ferrari. I'm asking them, like, how y'all get all this money? They're like, we do demonic rituals. I'm laughing. No, you don't, bro. Like, how you get this money? Don't put me on. I'm trying to get like y'all. Like, nah, we do demonic rituals. I say, so what type of demonic rituals? He say, the Illuminati never talked to you. I'm laughing. Still laughing now. How y'all? How y'all getting this money? Like, no, for real. Leonardo DiCaprio do all the initiation. Like, what? Like, who is that? What is you talking about, gang? He giving me a list of people who all did. I'm gonna keep it PG-13. He was basically saying, either you let them peg you or you do oral, and you'll get whatever you want. Tell them what you want. If you want to be the next big actress, next big whoever, I can take you to somebody. And all you gotta let them do is do what they want to do to me before night. That's what he was telling me. I'm like, hell no, I'm playing. Gang. So I'm still not trying to believe this. Now, while they doing all this, I'm trying to call my Uber. We on top of the mountain though. I don't got no service. The people who booked me left. After they leave, I'm in the car with the other dude that they called up to have a photo shoot with me. I get in the car with him and
It's about to get even more strange, and what he has to say. If he says what he's saying is true, completely odd. But regardless, you need to know and remember that Ephesians 6, chapter 12, tells us that our battle, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers and powers and cosmic rulers of the heavenly realms, spiritual forces in the heavenly realms. And 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14 does tell us that the angel disguises himself as an angel of light. And Jesus spoke about, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? I mean, even Jesus, as you may see in a minute, he was offered the whole world. And guess where Satan met him to offer that? On the top of
the topic for to cover, but I always wondered about that. How can Satan go and offer Jesus the whole world if Satan knows that this is the Son of God, which, based on your own doctrine, the Son of God created the whole world? This goes for Christians and BHIs and everybody else and shit, apologetics, all you guys. If Satan knew who Jesus was, go out there and try to tempt him. Hey, I'll give you the whole world. What do you mean, bro? He created the whole world. And then why would Satan act like he don't know Jesus? Like I don't know you. I don't know who you are. If you're really the Son of God, prove this to me. Didn't Paul say that even the spirits know who you are? That's why certain people couldn't exercise, like do exorcism on certain spirits, because they're like, I know you, but I don't know you. So all of a sudden, fucking Satan became schizo and shit, and Jesus became schizo as well. Like they didn't know each other. Like what's going on? These are the questions that we need to start asking, because it's within this type of spiritual drunkenness is why we're all so stuck. It's like we're trying to peel away from this glue that we fell on. Like, yeah, I'm almost free, and your arms are free, your waist is free, but your legs are still there, bro. Because we're not asking the right questions anymore. We're not asking the right questions. But Jesus should know Satan, because Satan in Job 1 and 2 talks about Satan working for the Lord, the Creator. And if he was going to send the Son of Man since the beginning of time, why would Satan ask him, hey, if you're the Son of Man, prove this to me? No, it don't make sense. Don't make sense, man.
Of a high mountain.
We see them clear. See, on the way up, we go all the way up in the swivel, like all the way around the mountain.
Yeah.
On the way down, we take a right. So he not going the same way that we came up. I'm like, what the hell? So then that's what I try. I'm like, take me to go get some McDonald's, gang. He said, we're not gonna take you to get no McDonald's. We spent all this money to get you up here. This face change, gang. In front of me. You see Venom? Kind of like that. His face is probably about this wide. Face change. I'm like, what the? Like, it's probably about like right here. Like, it threw me all the way off. I didn't know how to get out of the car. I would have been got out of the car. We in the 3-seater McLaren, so it's like a button you got to push to get up out of there.
Gotcha.
Now he backing into somebody's driveway. He smack our mailbox. Now he hit the button and he get up out of there. I see the button. I'm getting up out of there too. I hit the button. Guess what? It's a mailman come out of nowhere. I slap run up to him. I'm like, hey bro, I'm getting back your truck. He looking at me like, oh damn. No. I look at him. I'm like, bro, just let me get in back your truck. Bro, like, please just take me down to the bottom. Please just take me down to the bottom. It was God. He took me down to the bottom. And I called an Uber and I just left. The people on camera, you ain't got to believe me. I don't care. I'm not lying. I really saw this.
I believe it.
That's what like made me know that the devil and God was real.
You saw the darkness.
I seen it.
And now you're in the light with Jesus.
This is why I have to use my influence for good, like how you doing.
Wow. That's completely strange. But again, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, why would he make that up? Why would he lie and say all these things? It would just make him look like a fool. I mean, people would have a hard time believing him anyway. But if you look at past cases, I just want to bring some up with you real quick. Like I said, this video won't be very long. I just want to share with you. Remember Corey Feldman? He was a child actor in the movie Goonies. He claimed widespread pedophilia networks in the 1980s. He and Corey Haim were abused by insiders. He said there was initiations at parties, grooming via offers of roles for sex, a lot of them homosexual acts. And man, he was abused often and used for silence. He was in fear the whole time. Elijah Wood, maybe, I don't know if you heard this or not. I'm kind of learning these things myself as I go along, but he made a comment about a pedophile ring also in Hollywood that he kind of retracted later on, but he did warn about people like Jimmy Savile, right? There was a documentary about him in the UK. He was a viper. He was a horrible person that preyed on children and probably trafficked children from orphanages. He said there's a dark culture of exploitation, especially at late night parties. And so why don't we bring up big homie CC, who was an ex-model associated with P. Diddy. He claimed that these freak-offs were more than just parties, but they were ritualistic and humiliation, all right, like blackmail type things in order to get people to do what you want them.
That's crazy though, but because you know what? We're surrounded by that, man. Even now. Even now we're surrounded by that. Even now, bro. So it's the method. Abuse you, control you, fill you with their lust, the spirit. Once they inject you with whatever that shit is, that's wicked stuff, man. Francis Bacon, the godfather of the scientific age. Francis Bacon, the editor of the King James Bible. He was the one that started talking about Atlantis again. The new Atlantis is called. Bacon cryptically revealed the existence of a secret government through two main methods. Through the symbolism of his utopian fable. I mean, like a novel, like what I said. This is why I had the thumbnail done this way. The Atlantis novela, güey. Es una pinche novela, güey. It's like this novela right here. I'm gonna show you. I gotta show you, bro. This is fucking crazy. Hold on. It's like stuff like this, bro. Straight up. It's like stuff like this.
¡Paco! ¿Cómo te atreves a besar a mi chava, eh?
A
ver, que alguien me explique.
It's a fucking novela, homie. Straight up, bro. Like, Pancho, no toques a mi morra, güey. Like, bro, it's the same shit. It's a utopian fable. The New Atlantis published posthumously under his own name. And then B, through the symbolism of the Rosicrucian manifestos, which he published in Germany through a secret agent of his society. You see what I'm saying? So this Atlantis is really pushed by the secret societies. They believe in this utopian thing. They want to they want to recreate it. It was never real. But, you know, they imagine it in their seventh day of creation. It's the seventh heaven, so to speak. Solomon's house is what they fucking refer it to. Colombianos, bro, you're just such a joke, man. But you know what, bro? I thank you for completely feeding these people stupid shit, because stupid people do stupid things. And stupid people don't know they're stupid. The golden age once achieved in lost Atlantis. We hear the golden age. Doesn't Donald Trump talk about the golden age? The golden age. The worldwide state of illumination or golden age is an ancient dream and prophecy of all the great sages who ever lived on earth. I'm sorry. So who fed you this stuff? The great Francis Bacon? If you're not aware of this here, Helena Blavatsky, was a Luciferian. Okay? This chapter focused on Helena Petrovna Blavatsky, the secret doctrine. As the chief ideologist of Theosophical Society, was the first person to present a positive understanding of Satan, the positive understanding of Satan. So when you push this New Atlantis shit, you're pushing Satan concepts, whatever you believe that is. Maybe you believe Satan is fucking, you know, your God, and you're all seeing eye. Maybe that's what Colombianos is about, bro. Maybe Colombianos, like, seriously, you know, knows that this guy Satan is his Lord and Savior, his anointed one, like Ezekiel 28 talks about. An anointed cherub. She argues that Satan or Lucifer or the devil, as she often uses the names interchangeably, brought humankind spiritual wisdom by offering us the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge of the Garden of Eden. Now, I picked this link because it was supposed to have Atlantis in there. Did they block me? They did. Oh, you do not currently have this chapter. Oh, they changed it on me, fuckers. Wow, that's crazy, man. Maybe they know I'm into something. I don't know. Who knows? But you guys still believe it, though. Here's the book, The Secret Doctrine. So now let's consider going to Atlantis. Atlantis, you see that? So let's go to the beginning. It says, but although certain coeval with Plato's Atlantis, the Maya belonged to the fifth continent, which was preceded by Atlantis and Luminaire. Now the Maya, he's talking about the Hindu people, okay? So when you talk about Atlantis and you believe in this stuff, that means you're a straight Kabbalist, and that's what you believe in. So you can't separate Kabbalist, Freemasonry concepts, this occult knowledge from Atlantis. Atlantis is Atlantis. What are you, a fucking Kabbalist? You worship the Sephiroth, you dumbass? Is that what you're saying? Look, and Atlantis comes out several times, not just like 17 times. Look, it's still counting. Watch this real quick. The Maya is evident since no Sanskritist among Europeans can tell where that locality of Romakapura was, except indeed that it was somewhere in the West. Anyhow, as no member of Asiatic society or Western Orientalist will ever listen to a Brahmanical teaching, it is useless to take objection of European Orientalists into consideration. Romakapura was in the West, certainly, since it was part and parcel of the last continent of Atlantis. And it is equally certain that it is Atlantis, which is assigned in the Hindu Puranas as the birth of Asura Maya, as great a magician as he was astrologer and astronomer. Okay? So now let me show you something, family. I'm gonna really put a lot of people to the test. You know what I'm saying? We'll put a lot of people to the test because, like, you know, there's people out here, which I appreciate what they do. You know, they push a lot of music now, and you know what I'm saying? You got your channel, bro, you're growing. But in your music, you're like, I'm not a Hebrew, I'm not this, I'm not that. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, you guys believe that we just came out of nowhere and shit. Like, you think that we're always here and then that's it. This is from the mysteries of the Mexican pyramids. And we see certain pictures of certain ways of people being a certain, you know, like acting a certain way, right? Like wearing clothes like this and shit. Right? Here in 5054, in the manuscript written in Quechua in 5054 by several Maya Indians, we just read about Mayas, right? Its Spanish translators, Padre Dionisio Jose Chanoy, had to say it is supposed in the manuscripts that the three great Quechua nations mentioned in particular are descendants of the 10 tribes of the kingdom of Israel. Now, I know you guys want to hear that. I know. I'm not a Hebrew. I'm a native. Yeah, you're scholarly. You got some scholarly stuff behind you. I get it. But you still got to answer to this shit right here. The similarities between us and the people over there. And you know what? Like, I got my DNA to prove that I am been here a long time and that we originated from over there. Explain that. Cabrera adds that Amaguamecan was the province of Chiapas where the Indians carefully preserved the remembrance of their origin and of their ancestors' early progress from the voluntary and enforced abandonment of the Palestine on the angers of the Hebrews. Now, you're like, that's, you know, whatever. It don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Okay. Now, you guys are very familiar with this shit. Los voladores, right? Los voladores. Okay. What other nation of people in the entire world do this right here?
Who are you?
Anyone? Okay. So here we see the church. I'm sorry, the churuk. So look at this. What is that? What the hell? Bro, those look like voladores. Like these guys right here, right? Así igualitos, güey. Like totally the same. Now, in case you don't know this, no, you probably don't. What do you think these people are? Where do you think these people are from? What does that look like? Well, what do they look like? They're wearing turbans. Look at that right there. What is that right there? Who are these soldiers? These soldiers look like British soldiers. But those people that are there among them, they're not British. No, they're not. Now, this is an old picture that I've had for a long time. And in this picture, here we see our gente, you know, in the pole volando and shit. So this has been a long custom. This is not recent. Not like, 100 years ago. This is a long time. So all you scholarly people, I'm not a Hebrew. Fine, you got to answer to this shit then. Then what the hell is this stuff right here? Tell me what this is right here. There's only two nations of people that ever do this, family. People from India and people from over here. Look. To this day. Look. 4. And he's sitting on a square. Look. All right, now, how can two nations from two entirely different continents, who, by the way, are called Indians, do the same shit? How? How can we have this relationship with them? So here we go right here. Look. How in the world can we have a similarity to them? Hey, how you doing, sis? Good to have you here. What up, sis? Good to have you here. Elishiva. Hope you and your family are well, sis. You too, D. You too, D. Thank you for being here. So we're seeing now similarities in like voladores, bro. Now, these guys are from the Middle East. South Asia, okay? These guys are from here, in Mexico. Right here. So, black folks, how come you don't do any of this? Here we see the swastika, the concept of where it comes from. Right? Here we see them again doing it here recently. Now I'm going to show you this real quick. This is from, I don't have the book, my bad. Look what it says on page, it's a Churuk Boya. Yeah, but that's not the book. I don't remember the book. I'll have to look for it, family, honestly. But on page 27, it says this. A little further on where the 3 swinging posts erected in this fashion, a post some 30 feet in height was crossed at the top by horizontal bamboo, from one end of which a man was swinging, suspended by a rope. From the other end, another rope was fastened to the horizontal pole below, which was turned by the men running around like horses in the mill. The man swung in a circle perhaps 30 feet diameter, supported by 4 iron hooks, 2 through the flesh of his back, which our gente don't do that, but they do that over there, and 2 in that of his chest. Now, keep in mind, family, there's no other nation of people that does this in the world, and only us and them. This is from Who Discovered America, page 15. It is still preserved in India in the ceremony of swinging the young sun god in August. Check this out. This is fire. Also in Dakota, swinging penance is exactly like that annual performance in the Bengal by the devotees. Dakota, North America. The voladores in Mexico do this. The people in Dakota were doing this. Swinging penance exactly like that annual performance performed by the Bengal by the devotees, who swung themselves on hooks on the Charak Puja, while the preparations for cutting down the mystery tree are very like those observed in the Chota Nagpur. In cutting down a kuram tree, Naudea parvifolia, at the barley festival in August. And in both cases, those who cut the tree must fast. In all but utterly impossible that these particular forms of swinging penance should have originated independently, both among the Bengalas and the Dakotas. Very true. There's no way that people from somewhere or another place and people from another fucking continent, they're like thinking the same thing, like, hey, why don't we swing around the pole? And that's how we, show penance and shit. Like, no, it doesn't happen. That means it was originated at one point. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something real quick. Okay? Because this is something I shared with y'all way back before. And I believe it's on page 55, if I'm not mistaken. This is from the description of the Indies in 1620. Okay? And on page, well, they don't go by pages, but on page 21 or section 55, he says this. Ezra says that at the close of his extended journey, they colonized and lived in that region, which is called Arsur. He's talking about the 10 tribes. That very learned Arthur Generbrald, in his book 1 of his chronology, states that Arsurit is the extreme point of Great Tartary, or Scythia. That is a cape or promontory, that is a cape or promontory, which is the boundary or landmark dividing the old world from the new world, above the Straits of Anian. And this is like in Russia and Alaska. Okay, that's what it was called, Straits of Anian. Now they call it, I don't know what they call it now. But that's what they used to call it. Okay, it says near which they crossed from that country to the New Spain. So they're saying that this is how the 10 tribes moved. So they could have gone by that route or by India and China, since they're in the region of Cathay. The people inhabiting that country keep the Old Testament and the law of Moses, although with many superstitions besides. So here we see that these 10 tribes would have passed through India and China. So now, if we see a similarity of the people here swinging around the post like the people over there in India, and here in the Bible it says that, people in India were keeping the commandments, and here in the Bible it says that, these 10 tribes passed through there, more likely. Why? How is there any other way to have similar customs than other people by possibly being part of that migration? I mean, other than being part of that migration? Although with many superstitions besides, this is a full and sufficient proof that members of the 10 tribes passed through there and settled there, since that is clear from their observation of the law, and from there they could easily cross the straits or channels which lie between China and the kingdom of Anian, which is the Americas, as may be seen on the globes or maps. And from the kingdom of Anian, they went on exploring and colonizing those countries of the New World never before seen or settled by human beings. So when we talk about the possibility, it says here, and when the numerous other coincidences between the Hindu, Chinese, Japanese, and the American myth and ritual, especially the measurements of time, both in India and America, by the Pleiades, Orion, which is in the Bible, that's in Job 38, I believe, or 32. The pole star, the great bear, which means the cosmos, which means the horoscopes, are also taken into account. I cannot see how it is impossible to doubt the connection. So if we're going to sit here and ignore or act like, nah, you know what I mean? We just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? We've always been here. No, bro, can't say that shit. You got to answer to those questions. Because just like, you use your particular type of tools to debunk shit. Well, guess what? This is what we're doing. And you can't deny this shit no more. You can't deny it at all. Like, oh, well, that's been debunked. So is science. Science gets debunked all the time. All the time it gets debunked. And look, from the mysteries of the Mexican pyramids, okay? This is a picture from inside the buildings here in the Americas. Look at these hands. Look at the way they're sitting. This is like Hindu stuff, family. See, when I first saw this, I was like, this is weird. I didn't even know what to say to this. But now I understand. I can see it a lot clearer. This is why it's not confusing to me. This is why it doesn't bother me. Asura Maya. Mayas are from India as well. And in case you don't know this, the Quechuas have, or the Quiches, I'm sorry, have a language very similar to Hebrew. And I've showed this with other classes too. So again, when we look at people in particular cults claiming that they know certain things, pushing the concept of Atlantis, as if we were never here, fam. Like we were never here. By them claiming this shit here, that means that we were never here. Okay? Because they don't consider us inhabitants. They consider us a mixture of people. And you know that. Check this out.
They're spawning again. A man wearing a Crusader outfit with the Jerusalem cross is standing here in opposition to the pro-Hamas crowd. Yep. I used to have that hat too, with that helmet. So yeah, they're respawning. It's going even farther than that. This is what's really crazy. Blackwater founder Eric Prince has asked Pope Leo to fund his private army to protect Christians in Nigeria. Bro, they're trying to run it back. Straight up, they're trying to run it all the way back. Yep. God wills it. Yeah, they're bringing the whole thing back. I can't believe it. The Templars are coming back.
People are going insane. That's why I wanted to show that. Y'all going crazy. You're going crazy. And it's part of the plan. Check this out. Oh my God. You keep showing up over here. So, again, I always go back to these old things. Like I've asked you about your diet. I've asked you about, the doctrines, the Christianity concept here. How come you don't express that? How come you don't know any of that? These are old pictures. And you got some morenos trying to use them and shit. And it's fucking stupid that they would even do that. It's kind of silly to me, bro. Now they're trying to run with something like this. Is that a light-skinned woman? This is 2,300 years ago. Is she black? She look like an African American? No. So see, this is why, family, when these people came to this continent, they made us believe that we got light skin because of them. No, we were light skin, dark skin already. We had a variety of that skin tone like we do today. Are you telling me she looks African American, bro? You guys always make fun of our body structure. Like, she don't look like she has a body of an African woman. Where's the elongated head? Where's the big lips? Where's the flat nose? Huh? Where's the dark skin? Where's your muscular shape? Stop lying to ourselves, man. Stop lying to yourself too, bro. You're making a fool out of you. Damn. Look. Chalakmul, the mural of the Cheikh Naab Acropolis show daily life in ancient times. Daily life. That guy's dark skinned, but look, is he shaped like no? I've never seen black people with a flat forehead like that. Come on, bro, stop it. Now you're gonna try to be that. Now all of a sudden, you don't care about your phenotype and shit. You fucking love your phenotype. Now all of a sudden, you don't care about it. Shut your ass up. Live with it, bro. If you guys are Canaanites, you just live with it, man. It's just very simple. It's not complicated. Look at that. Come on, friend. I mean, if you're so-called a African or who you are, whatever you call yourself, where are your muscles, bro? And you guys don't have noses like that unless you're mixed with a white man. And you guys typically don't have quote unquote flat heads. They're elongated. You know what I mean? Like a tube and shit. All of a sudden now you don't give a fuck about that. Look, we are the fastest, strongest, you know what I'm saying, most physical. How come you don't fight about that here? Oh, that's right. Because it's not part of the narrative at the moment. When in the world have you guys wore hair like that? When? We wear hair, hats like that, I'm sorry. We wear hats like that. When have you guys? Look. You saying that's you guys? How'd you get white? So-called. We can't really tell there much other than, skin tone. But that's all you focus on. Look, you guys don't wear hats like that at all. And you guys don't have flat heads, remember? You guys make fun of us because supposedly we have flat heads. You guys don't have flat heads. You guys make fun of us because supposedly we're not muscular. These guys are not muscular. Now that doesn't matter. Oh, and by the way, I've never seen any of you, none of you, in no picture, ever, whatsoever, to this very day, even till now in the Americas, ever walk around and carrying stuff like this. We have been carrying stuff like this for a long time. Let me see if they're going to let me into this link. Stop lying, man. Nobody likes liars. Oh, yeah. This was an article that I had for a while. I'm going to take some time to look through this. Maybe a little too long. Hold on. 1850. Let me see what I was looking for here. Article about law. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, hold on. Watch this real quick. The 10 Lost Tribes of Israel. Major Noah. An article in 1850. One of the leading and most intelligent Jews of his country, having been asked to indicate the probable location of the 10 tribes of Israel, submits the following highlight interesting views. He says, the subject always one of the deep interests has occupied the research of most eminent divines and historians. Many years ago, Bodino of New Jersey published a work of great interest called The Star of the West. He's confirming the book Star of the West in 1850, in which he attempted to prove that the North American Indians were the descendants of the lost tribes. The work was read, laid aside with incredulity 40 years. However, have developed many circumstances and discoveries tending to confirm the opinion of Dr. Boudinot, and the work, though out of print, is one which to the curious would imply repay perusal, I guess. We have never doubted the fact. We have never doubted the fact. 9.5 tribes were carried captive from Samaria. 2.5 Judah, Benjamin, and half of Manasseh remain in Judea, or in the Transjordan cities, and the latter constitute the 8 million of the existing nation. All that we know of the route is taken is from the second Esdras, in a apocryphal book, but one of great antiquity and one entitled to respect. The notice runs thus: whereas thou sawest another peaceable multitude, these are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea, whom Salmanassar, king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the water, so they came into another land. They took the counsel and among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go into a further country where never mankind dwelt. As you know from me showing you, there were so many religions back then. Remember? Mithra, starting with one, Hinduism. I mean, like, there were so many religions. Remember, keep in mind, that's what they're like, bro, we can't be around here. These guys believe in all kinds of crazy shit, so let's leave, which they never kept in their own land, Assyria. And there was a great way to go, namely 1.5 years. They marched towards the northeast of Asia. Hold on. Hold on. Viva Mexico, cabrones! They marched towards the northeast of Asia. Some remained in Tartary. Many went into China, where they had been 1,600 years and are numerous at this day. Do you understand what he's saying? Let me remind you. Image 1 of Port Tobacco Times, Charles County Advertiser, April 3rd, 1850. Here they're admitting that you natives, and they know that you guys are from the 10 tribes. Here, let me hear this one.
10 commandments, but broke every scroll.
I recorded that on purpose. Listen.
But where's your moral code? Where's your...
See that? They marched towards the northeast of Asia. Some remain in Tartary. Many went into China, where they have been 1,600 years. So after 538 BC, several stayed. The main body crossed at the Bering Straits, the Straits of Anian, like we read in the other books, to our continent. The more hardy keeping to the north, Hudson Bay and Greenland, meaning, like up north. The more cultivated pressed down on the shores of the Pacific, through California to Central America and Peru. And there they met their old enemy, the Phoenicians, supposedly the Canaanites. You see how they bring in this up, right? Who, having discovered the country 500 years previously,
that's gonna hurt!
This is where they get the concept of Plato and Diodorus. You see what I'm talking about? You see how they're blending these two things in. Who, having discovered the country 500 years previously, had formed colonies, built the city of Palenque, the pyramids, like those who had erected in Egypt and Cholula. And now he's claiming that we showed up and that these guys were already here. Together with hieroglyphics, zodiacs, temples, military roads, blah, 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 aqueducts, viaducts, all this stuff, right? Then it says, and proving that they were built and settled by those who had erected Tyre, Babylon, and Carthage. But didn't we read even Diodorus Siculus in 60 BC had been aware that these guys never came? But he created this story. When the tribes of Israel encountered their old enemy, they fell upon and destroyed them a second time. So this basically says that when we supposedly showed up, we destroyed the Canaanites, who the Negros claim to be. You are claiming to be Canaan, and you don't even realize you're claiming to be Canaan. When the tribe of Israel encountered their old enemy, they fell upon them and destroyed them the second time. And when Columbus discovered the country, he found the various tribes of Indians whose origin was unknown. These are the missing tribes, and this is the opinion of Adair, Heckwelder, Charlevoix, Mackenzie, Bertrand, Smith, Beltrame, Pendleton, I believe, Manasseh Ben Israel, the Earl of Crawford, Lopez de Gamara, Acosta, Major Long, Malvenda, Boudinot, and all eminent writers and travelers. We trace the march of the tribes through Asia to this continent. After 800 years, we find that the red men of America bearing strongest mark of Asiatic origin, that doesn't just mean China and shit, it's also the Middle East, by the way, divided into 300 different nations, remarkable for their intellectual superiority, their bravery in war, their faith in peace, and identity, and identify them to be the descendants of the lost tribes by following religious rites, particular to all of our Indians and to all the Israelites. This is an article in April of 1850. Yeah, there's some blurry shit with the whole Canaanite concept, right? But here we see that our people were doing these things. The belief in one God, in the computation of time by ceremonies of the new moon, the division of the year in 4 seasons, in their erection of a temple, having an ark of the covenant, and also the erection of an altar, by the division of nations into tribes, which is a chief and general sachem of their head. Hey, by the way, this is going on where he's at. Like, he's talking about it because he sees it right then and there. These aren't Negroes. These aren't Negroes. These aren't Negroes. These aren't Negroes. These are not African Americans. This is not Africans. These are our people. By their law or sacrifice, ablutions, I believe, marriages, ceremonies, and war and peace, prohibition of eating certain things, by traditions, history, character, appearance, affinity of their language to the Hebrews. See the language, the similarity, the pronunciation, and finally by the everlasting covenant of the heirship exhibited in a perpetual transmission of its seal in the flesh, a custom only of the late relinquished. All the Indians on the American continent, from Labrador to Cape Horn, are descendants of the tribes which are, as Ezra says, went into a further country. Boom. This is not just a random book, family. This is an article of people that were there. Mr. Caitlin, who lived several years ago, or yet several years among the Indians of the Northwest, okay, California, Oregon, all that, assures us that all the Mosaic laws, traditionally with them, were strictly enforced. And William Penn, who had no suspicion of their origin, says, I found them with like countenance to the Hebrew race. I consider these people under a dark night, yet they believe in God and immortality without the aid of metaphysics. They reckon by moon. They continue. We're almost done. Offer their first ripe fruit. They have a kind of a feast of tabernacle. They are set to lay their altars with 12 stones. April 3rd, by the way, 1850. This is current. He's talking about what he sees currently right then and there. He's not writing some shit because he saw it or read about it. No, he's there with them. They're still doing it. They mourn a year. They mourn a year and regard a Mosaic law with regard to the separation, meaning the blood with your wife. These are the missing but never the lost tribes of Israel. They resided in California when the ships of Solomon made their 3-year voyage and furnished the gold of Ophir for building the temple. They reside there still. The settlers are proprietors of Mexico, Peru, the whole of the America. They had been here centuries before the advent of Christianity and patiently await the promise of redemption. Now, I'm going to say this. In my DNA, this is who I am, Mexican and Peruvian. And as far as the Ophir, this land has been considered the Ophir for a long time. I shared this map with you guys before. I'll do it quickly. Japhet is numbered in numeric in Roman numbers. Japhet is categorized in Roman numbers. Ham is categorized by alphabetical numbers. And Shem is categorized by numbers, regular numbers, okay? Now, if you see here, these numbers, 13, 14, 15, 16, blah, 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 you see 17, but 18, 19 is missing, right? So now let's look over here. So 19 is over here. So it's basically saying that Shem is in the lands of the Americas. Shem in the lands of the Americas. How do I know this? Because check this out. Remember, Shem is numbered. And it says that Shem, the number 19, stands for what? Ophir. Right on the bottom. Right there on the bottom. Right there on the bottom, right there. Abimael, Seba, Ophir, Joktan, Job, Sephermes. These are Shem. Because, remember, Ham is alphabetical. Japhet is Roman. Shem is numeric. You see that right there? Shem is over here. See? Don't forget. Right here. And number 19 is who? Ophir. The people in this area were considered what? People from Ophir. Now 20 is Havilah, and I guess 20 is Havilah and Joktan, and we see 20. Where's 20 at? Oh, it's over here. 18's over there. You see this? So again, these are the missing, but never the lost. This is from, once again, image 1 of Port Tobacco Times, Charles County Advertisers, Port Tobacco, April 3rd, 1850. I love my heritage. I love my people. I love who we are. I love everything.
In the years after the frontier wars.
And sometimes I get saddened because, misunderstandings divide us from actually coming together to understand who we are. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do dislike. But hey, man, I guess we have to continue the fight.
Smoke cleared and the cattle trails stretched across the plains. A new kind of rider appeared, the Native American cowboy. By the 1880s, as many as 1 in 4 cowboys on the Great Plains and in the Southwest were native. Comanche, Kiowa, Apache, Lakota, Navajo are just a few of the tribes who traded the war trail for the open range. They were born to the horse. Long before ranching came west, their people had mastered horsemanship, riding without saddles, reading the land, and moving herds by instinct, not force. Ranchers valued them for that quiet skill. Some worked the big spreads in Texas and Oklahoma. Others drove cattle north through Montana. And some took their lives in their hands breaking wild broncs for just a few dollars a day. Join us at Wild West Faces for more.
See, we must remember these things, fam. We have to, man. This is our family, because guess what? Our family right now, not all of us, but some of us, specifically me, thank God, not specifically my family, but our people are seeing this shit.
In the life of a daughter with immigrant parents who are now in hiding. This morning I had to wash my parents' clothes. This is it. While washing, I ran to the store because I just came back from out of town and their fridge was empty, which truly broke my heart that they can't get groceries because they're afraid. But here I am again, getting more groceries, carrying it all by myself, which I used to do with my dad. This is the lunch I made. Yeah, truly disheartening, everything that's going on in Chicago right now. And if you're a daughter like me, I feel for you.
Hear that, family? Our people are afraid to go shopping, bro. In the land that we've been here, that we belong to for a long time. Me particularly, I cannot wrap my mind around the hate that these people have. Unfortunately, they reminded me that vengeance sometimes does feel good. I hate to see this shit, man.
Seeing the life of a daughter with immigrant parents who are now in hiding. This morning I had to wash my parents' clothes. This is it. While washing, I ran to the store because I just came back from out of town and their fridge was empty, which truly broke my heart that they can't get groceries because they're afraid. But here I am again, getting more groceries, carrying it all by myself, which I used to do with my dad. This is the lunch I made. Yeah, truly disheartening, everything that's going on in Chicago right now. And if you're a daughter like me, I feel for you.
You know, there was a part where we read that, in the article, he was talking about that we're waiting for redemption, right? For redemption. So
Politico just dropped an absolute bombshell trove.
This goes to all you so-called white folks, man. Stop the bullshit. Y'all are just fucking racist. And I'm specifically talking about you that are racist. Not just, including everybody. But this bullshit like, oh, they're just kids. They didn't mean it. Nah. This is clearly showing that all the laws that you're passing has nothing to do with diplomacy or politics or democracy. It has to do with superiority and supremacy and insecurity, because you feel like you're better than other people. And in reality, what you're doing is you're showing that you're weak compared to us, which is why you say and do what you do. And you guys hide it and want to act like, oh, it's no big deal, but they're just kids. Kids, 40-year-old kids saying this shit, bro.
Of leaked Telegram messages from young Republican leaders. And as unsurprising as this may be, the contents of these damning messages essentially amount to this.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany. Don't be stupid, be a smarty. Come and join the Nazi party.
I wish I was kidding. The title of this article is I Love Hitler, Leaked Messages Expose Young Republicans' Racist Chat. And while I'm sure we've all said off-colored things we wouldn't want exposed in private.
Kids, they got beards and shit. Those are kids, bro? Look at these fat fuckers, bro. Let's continue.
Group chats, the callous level of candor that these young Republicans are spewing, this vitriolic hate, would make even Adolf Hitler say, hey guys, maybe we should tone down the rhetoric. So real quick, do me a favor, drop a like on this video and subscribe to stay on the correct side of history and to help us get this video seen by more people so we can expose these young Republicans for who they truly are, dismantle their hypocritical whining about the hateful,
Care about the political part. Okay, let's just listen to this.
violent, intolerant left, and then ridicule them ruthlessly like they deserve, because as I've said from day one, this is how you deal with these people. For some quick context, I want to give you a visual of some of the people we're going to talk about in this story. And if my characterization of these loser incels offends you, just wait till you hear what they have to say. This Donald Trump-sized red-cheeked turd right here, his name is Bobby Walker. He was the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time. This tub of lard, whose skin color alone could likely get him sent to Alligator Alcatraz, is Peter Junta, who at the time was the chair of the New York State Young Republicans. This fat fuck who would be kicked out of the army by Pete Hegseth is William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair who seems to think he's able to use the N-word. Those are just the worst offenders. If there's anyone else that gets mentioned in the story, I'll try to put a picture up of them. Let's dive in. I'd say good thing they're all public figures, but frankly, I don't see Republicans getting mad enough about this to get these people fired from their jobs. Leaders of young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway. They referred to black people as monkeys and, quote, the watermelon people, and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide, and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the words N-I-G-G-A and N-I-G-G-U-H, variations of the racial slur, more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to the R-word as epic. Peter Giunta, I hope I butchered your stupid fucking name, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote a message sent in June that, quote, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber. Giunta was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the GOP's 15,000-member political organization for Republicans between 18 and 40 years old. Quote, I'm going to create some of the greatest physiological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. To which two members of the chat responded. If they vote for us, why would they be gassed? When do we bring that side out? Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. I'm ready to watch people burn now. We gotta pretend that we like them. Hey, come on in, take a nice shower and relax, boom, they're dead. That exchange is part of a trove of Telegram chats obtained by Politico and spanning more than 7 months of messages among young Republican leaders in New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. The chat offers an unfiltered look at how a new generation of GOP activists talk when they think no one is listening. Which is insane considering some of them are willing to admit stuff like this in a public debate.
Because you're a little bit more than a far-right Republican. Hey, what can I say? I think you can say I'm a fascist.
Yeah, I am.
And thankfully, that asshat got fired from his job as a cloud engineer. And since Politico began making inquiries on this story, one member of the group chat is no longer employed at their job, and another's job offer was rescinded.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a point across. Yeah, they were just like calling. Because that's what I said, bro. Stop lying. Like, oh, no, you guys are snowflakes. Oh, my God. Bro, you guys are just racist and shit. It's just straight up. You don't like people of color. You don't like brown people. You don't like black people. It's not about democracy or ethics. It's not about equality. It's not about let's all have the same rights. No. It's about the fact that white people just do not like the fact that they suck at a lot of shit that they do. And that other nations just are just better than them. And that's a fact. Let's go.
Anything to do with the chat members' language.
Even if that's true, so then you're saying, because, let's say this guy's a leftist, even if that's true, does that make it okay for the sitting president of the United States to incite violence against liberals?
The President of the United States has not accepted violence against liberals. The President of the United States made a joke at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was funny and self-deprecating.
He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica.
Writing only an activist, left-wing reporter would desperately...
So, yeah, fam. That's all I got. Hope it was edifying, man. I hope it was clear. I hope you guys appreciate it. I hope you guys can look into these, links and materials that I show you. This is a powerful one. This is from Charles County Advertisers, the Poor Tobacco Times, April 3rd, 1850. Literally, it's literally telling you the 10 lost tribes of Israel is you indigenous brothers and sisters here. And I know there's other people that don't believe it, like, yeah, whatever, we've been here, science says, no, shut up. Because guess what? How did we get here then? You saying we just like came out of the ground? Like mushrooms and shit? So like you take part of science, valid, but then not all of it? Like, no, you can't do that. And I'm saying this, since 2022, I've had this channel, and I've never balked from this here. We weren't all dark-skinned people. And the reason why you have to wrap your mind around that concept is because of this beautiful image right here. This is beautiful, man. Guess why? Because when they make you believe that you're a mixture of something, then they make you believe that you're the root of nothing. Look at those beautiful pictures, bro. Look at that right there. We can't go wrong with this fact. Have a good night, family.
Estamos aquí, oye, que estamos aquí. Mírame, estamos aquí. Desde hace rato, cuando ustedes llegaron, ya estaban las huellas de nuestros zapatos. Se robaron hasta la comida de gato y todavía se están lamiendo el plato. Bien encabronados con estos ingratos. Hoy le doy duro a los tambores hasta que me acusen de maltrato. Si no entiendes el dato, pues te lo tiro en cumbia, bossa nova, tango o vallenato. A lo calaboy y bambú, bien frontú, con sangre caliente como Timbuktu. Estamos dentro del menú. Tupac se llama Tupac por Tupac Amaru del Perú. América no es solo USA, papá. Esto es desde Tierra del Fuego hasta Canadá. Hay que ser bien bruto, bien hueco. Es como decir que África es solo Marruecos. Estos canallas se les olvidó que el calendario que usan se lo inventaron los mayas con la Valdivia precolombina. Desde hace tiempo, este continente camina, pero ni con toda la marina pueden sacar de la vitrina la peste campesina. Esto va para el capataz de la empresa. El machete no es solo para cortar caña, también es para cortar cabeza.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. 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 Te muerde, te muerde.
Los paramilitares, las guerrillas, los hijos del conflicto, las pandillas, las listas negras, los falsos positivos, los periodistas asesinados, los desaparecidos, los narcogobiernos, todos los que robaron, los que se manifiestan y los que se olvidaron, las persecuciones, los golpes de estado, el país en quiebra, los exiliados, el peso devaluado, el tráfico de droga, los carteles, las invasiones, los emigrantes sin papeles, 5 presidentes en 11 días, disparo a quemarropa por parte de la policía, más de 100 años de tortura, la nova trova cantando en plena dictadura. Somos la sangre que sopla la presión atmosférica. Gambino, mi hermano, esto sí es América.
Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes. Si quieres mi machete te muerde. Aquí estamos, siempre estamos, no nos fuimos, no nos vamos. Aquí estamos pa' que te recuerdes.
Yeah. Kings. Yeah. Coming straight out of the Nile. I'ma tell you about a great big liar. Yeah, but Egyptians was not white. Them college niggas ain't right. Built the pyramid. Look at them lips. Look at them hips. That booty so round. You know that girl be brown.
So you mean that we was like, whoa?
We was kings and shit. Boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit. Nigga, what you gonna do? Ramses was black. Tutankhamun was black. Y'all know Cleo was black. Who made it into space? Nigga, that was the black race.
You're welcome.
They're covering it up in the books. Bunch of cracker-ass crooks.
Tell it again.
You can even go out of Egypt, find out who the real chosen people. Mozart, Beethoven, King George, Vikings. They was all black.
We was kings and shit. Boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit. Nigga, what you gonna do? So what you saying is like, but what you all talk about is, so you mean that we was like, what? Her ancestors, blood ran through us, the whole and battle of pressing oils. Just remember this one little thing. We was kings and shit. Boy, you know that it is true. We was kings and shit. Nigga, what you gonna do? I don't even know what I'm saying no more, dude. Shit.
Ical, hijo, abre los ojos. Tu cuerpo se queda con nosotros, pero tu espíritu debe seguir. Busca la luz. Aléjate de las sombras. Deja que nuestro dolor sea tu fuerza. Desde aquí iluminamos tu camino. Lucha como nosotros, la pena. Yo soy tú, tú eres yo. La muerte que hoy nos separa, mañana volverá a unirnos. Eres libre, hijo.